everyone, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Wednesday the 6th of March 2019 and I'm here for my update. It's been a few weeks since I was last here and I apologise for going missing. Life got in the way. We did have a death in the family, unfortunately, and that kind of put a hiatus. It made my stitching bug go into hiatus. It was an expected death. And it was my uncle and he was quite old, but it was still, you know, it still meant that things had to go on hold, and got pretty busy organising the funeral and getting things ready for that and that kind of thing. We had family stay with us as well, so not a lot of stitching was done, unfortunately, during that time. But I hope to be back now, back to my normal schedule, and I will go through what I've done in the last few weeks. There was also a week where I was a bit sick and I didn't really feel like stitching on any of my large projects. So I focused on my smallest one, which is Gabrielle by Mill Hill, and here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's what it looks like now. And I've just backed it in, it's kind of a sparkly purple. So the hanger is just using some red and gold beads that came in the kit. So yeah, I really like that one, and that's going to go on the Christmas tree when the time comes. I also worked on Storykeep Secret Door by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. This is now right at the bottom, so that hanging thread is actually in the column next to this one, because that's the end of the piece. It will not get any longer than this. So all I have to do is that bottom row and then it's finished. So I'm hoping for an April or May finish for this one, and then I can get back to my stocking from Haid. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it, but I am enjoying working on it. But the last couple of pages, which are the 2 pages I'm working on, a lot of black and brown in there. So I'm hoping it doesn't get too tedious working on that. I worked on Summer Queen by Mirabilia. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. This is 28 count Monaco on Indian Sunset by Colour Cascade Fabrics, and that is the entire front page. So Mirabilia charts come on the back and front usually, a pattern, at least the larger ones are, and that's the entire front. So I'm almost halfway through. I did realise that the halfway mark is actually about there, I think. Not here, which is where I originally thought it was. And as you can see, my fold, you may be able to see anyway, the fold mark on this fabric is there. So this pattern, it will fit, but it's going to be a little bit off center, and that's okay. I'll still have enough room to frame it, that's fine. But other than most of the back stitching and the beading, the front page is done. So I may go back to do the back stitching. I'm not sure. The back stitching does go into the bottom part, so I'm not sure whether I will go back to it now or just wait until I pick it up again next summer. So that's Summer Queen by Mirabilia, and yeah, I love the way she looks. She's beautiful. So we're officially in autumn here in Australia now. It's still quite warm. Not as warm as Melbourne and Adelaide have been. I know there's some really awful fires in Melbourne, and my brother-in-law and his family have actually been evacuated. I think they went back. I think they've gone back now, so I think they're safe and their house is okay, but I know a lot of people have lost their house and their belongings, so that's really awful. I now know that there's also a fire in Western Australia. So even though it's the start of autumn, it really hasn't cooled down enough to stop sort of those natural disasters. Here in Sydney, it has been a lot cooler than it was in January, which I'm very grateful for. And we're expecting a cool change this afternoon, so I'm looking forward to that. And I think tomorrow is going to be 23 degrees as opposed to about 35 degrees today, so it'll be a lot nicer tomorrow. The other thing I worked on was the Prairie Schooler alphabet. I've been working on the M and O piece, and here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now, and as you can see, unfortunately I did not finish O during February. What I plan to do is I will be picking this one up again to work on P this month. So P will go here. I will complete P and then see how much time's left for me that week and go back to O and spend whatever time's left on O. So hopefully I'll be able to finish both blocks this month. If not, I'll just do the same when it comes to Q. I'll just go back and do O once Q is finished. So yeah, hopefully this page or this piece of fabric, I'm doing it on 3 pieces of fabric, this alphabet, and I'm hoping to finish this piece of fabric by April. And then I will be taking a break during May and go back to it in June. So that's that. I did get a lot of haul. Just keeping in mind that this is about 5 or 6 weeks worth. I bought some DMC. I'm not going to go through the different colors, but I do have a full set of DMC, but I'm going to be working on Storykeep Secret Door when I finish my 2 smaller heids, and I'm doing that as a sale with my friend Robin, and I did need a couple of numbers of DMC that I either didn't have in my master set. I've probably got them in other projects but not in my master set, but there's also a couple of the newer numbers. Well, I don't have any of the newer numbers until now, and quite a few, because it's a newer pattern, it does use quite a few of the newer numbers. So, but also there's a couple of DMC colors where it requires 6 or 7 skeins of them, so I had to buy those skeins, and I wanted to get them from the same dye lot. So I bought those from JK's Cross Stitching Supplies, and I will leave a link to that one below. I also received the 8th part of the Songbirds Garden series, and this is Have Courage. It contains a rose-breasted grosbeak and gladiolas, and that's another really pretty one. The 9th part to this series will be delayed. I read that the designer's father unfortunately had a stroke, and she didn't have all her supplies with her when she went to visit him and to stay with him so that she can kind of be support to him. So it will be delayed by at least a month, I believe. So that's that one, and hopefully her father comes through that okay. Needleminder Obsession here in Australia has decided to close up shop, but the lady Christine has sent her stock to Colour Cascade Fabrics, so her needle minders will now be sold through Colour Cascade Fabrics. But before I knew that, I bought these. I think these were 3 of her newer ones. These are on bottle caps, so I really like those. And then while I was there, my daughter likes Shimmer and Shine. I believe this is one of the the characters. I'm not sure which one, but that's for my daughter. So she was really happy to receive that. And then I placed 2 different orders with Journey of a Stitcher from Etsy. Journey of a Stitcher is run by a lovely lady named Nicole. Hi Nicole, if you're watching. She lives in Melbourne and she is excellent. Her customer service is fantastic. It's second to none. You place an order. Both of these orders, I placed the order. I received a shipping notice within half an hour and I received everything within 2 days, 2 business days. So second to none, really good service. So the things I got in no particular order, they were in 2 separate orders and I can't remember what came with what, but I bought Evergreen Sleigh by Mill Hill. She had her Christmas items on special, so these were on clearance and I decided to take advantage of that. I also bought the Margie Trilogy by Mill Hill and this one is Balthazar. I really love the colours in these ones. Gaspar and Melchior. So they're really nice. This one is Nature's Beauty by Little House Needleworks. This one only uses DMC, which I'm really happy about. And it says, I am humbled by the beauty of a flower in the breeze, surrounded by an orchestra of softly buzzing bees. So it's a nice little one. I bought Home for the Holidays. I'm probably the last person on FlossTube to own this book by Blackbird Designs. But I'm sure you've all seen this one. It's called 'Tis the Season. And I plan to stitch that one. The other one I really like from this book is this one, Blessings Be Thine. And a couple of people are stitching this one as well, and it's called Christmas Garden. So one day I will stitch on those. I also bought some Mirabilias because I love Mirabilias. This one is Lady Hera. It's MD107. It says, a peacock with magnificent plumage of electric blues and teal greens lingers in the royal gardens. Amongst urns and yellow roses, he and his mistress await the subtle glow of the sunset, when all things are golden and brilliant. I also bought, this is quite a new one, I think it was released in December. It's called Zelda, and it's MD161, and all it says is, the fascinating Zelda Fitzgerald is the muse and inspiration for this pattern. Cross-stitching with Luda is stitching this one, and it is absolutely stunning. And usually I need to see a Mirabilia stitched up before I invest in it, but I really loved this one when I first saw it. So I bought it as soon as it became available. And Deepest Love, which I believe has now gone out of print. I bought it just before that, I think a week before. This is MD42, and it says, she looked and he looked back. Sorry, she looked and he looked back. She loved and he loved back. It didn't matter that she lived beneath the seas and he beside them. Love knows no boundaries, and so she goes to him with joy and with the jewels and regal bearing befitting a princess from the deep. Their time together will be counted in precious moments, always secret, always sweet. It will have to do. I really like that one. That's it for haul. Books, I had 3 books that I read. The first one was Force of Nature by Jane Harper, and this was the second one that she wrote. I can't remember what the last one was called, but I read it a couple of videos ago. It was also really good. It's not really a series, but it does contain the main character in this one as well as in the previous one. The main character is a detective who, I think his name was Jack. I can't remember exactly, but he works in the financial crimes section of the Australian Federal Police. This book was about a group of people who work in an office, and their team building exercise for this particular period of time was a hike in some Victorian bushlands. And all of them come back except one, and we're not sure what has happened to her until right at the end. So I really liked it. It was a page turner, it was well written, and I will seek out more of Jane Harper's books. I think she only has one other one, so she has 3 altogether. So I will be reading that one at some stage as well. I also read American Street by Zaboi. This one was spoken about by Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff a couple of months ago, I think. She really enjoyed it, and so did I. It's about a young girl, I think she's in her teens. She and her mother leave Haiti to come and live in America with her aunt and cousins. Unfortunately, when they reach America, she's free to go, but her mother is detained and put in a detention centre, or what we call detention centres. I think she was calling it a prison. I guess she didn't have the right visas to be in America. So we kind of follow this girl as she gets used to living with her aunt and cousins, who she didn't know at all, except for kind of writing to them on social media before moving to America. She goes to school there, and she finds a boyfriend, but she's also trying to release him, to get her mum freed from jail so that she can come and live with them. I really enjoyed the book. It was a page turner. It is set in Detroit in America, but a lot of the Haitian customs come through in it, and I like that about it. I like learning about different cultures, and I didn't really know much about Haiti at all. We know a lot about voodoo from what comes through in pop culture, but it's not really anything that kind of really has any, from what I could gather in this book. Voodoo is so much nicer and so much better and so much more spiritual than what we see in movies about voodoo dolls and things like that. So yeah, it's a good book. I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. The third book was You by Caroline Kepnes. It was a page turner. It's supposed to be a psychological thriller. I didn't find it that psychological, I guess. It's basically about a man who runs a bookstore, and a female customer comes in. He becomes obsessed with her. He starts following her. He breaks into her apartment. He follows her friends. He wedges his way into her life by tricking her, and becomes her boyfriend, and goes about finding out how she feels about him in different ways. He's obviously deranged and psychotic, and something clearly wrong with him. I just found something missing with this one. I'm not sure what it is. There is a series on Netflix. It's about the same. It's based on the novel, and I actually preferred that, unusually for me. Usually I much prefer the book, but I did prefer the series on Netflix to the book, which was unusual for me. I also started reading a book that was being read by Anne P. called Enchantress of Numbers, and I didn't get to finish it. It was due back at the library. It's just when everything was going on. I wasn't really into it either. It was about Ada Lovelace, who was a female mathematician. She is known as the mother of computing. I knew about her from reading about Queen Victoria and Prince Alfred. She was a friend of Prince Alfred's. Prince Alfred was very intellectual, and he sought her out when he found out about her, how much she was improving mathematics and what they knew about mathematics and that kind of thing back then. She's a fascinating lady. I just didn't think this book was doing her justice. It was quite slow at the beginning, and I believe it got better. MP said it did get better. It's just that the way my life was at that time, at the time I was reading it, I just couldn't get into it, and I kind of got stuck within the first 3 chapters. It was due back at the library. I couldn't renew it, so I've taken it back. I may get it out again. I don't know. Anne P mentioned this as well, and I had issues with the way it was written. It was written from the point of view of Ada as a baby when she was 6 weeks old at the start. I'm sure, you know, she got older as the book progressed, but it just picturing a baby talking about her life at the time, it just didn't make much sense to me. I think it was a little bit disingenuous to write in that way. The author does say, or the book did say, that of course she wasn't aware of what was going on when she was 6 weeks old, and that she kind of got her facts from what she'd heard from other people and heard other people whispering about and talking about and reading what her father wrote. Her father was Lord Byron, the poet. But it just didn't fit. It didn't sit right with me that a 6 week old, despite her saying all those things, it just didn't sit right with me that that's the way she was speaking about her life when she was 6 weeks old. It just, anyway, I may get it out again and finish reading it. I'm not sure. I know that Ms. Lovelace was a fascinating lady, but I'm not sure that this is the right book to read about her. But anyway, my plans, so they were the 3 books I finished. My plans for the rest of this month, I've only worked on Storykeep Secret Door for 2 days this month, so I will finish the week up on that and hopefully get close to a page finish on there, and then I'll only have half a page left, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to finishing it. Even though I'm enjoying working on it, I really want to finish a big Haid finish. I'll be happy with that. I want to work on the story, the Prairie Schooler alphabet. I want to finish O. I will definitely finish P, but I want to go back to O and try to finish that one off as well. And I think that may get us to the next video. If not, I will pull out Autumn Queen by Mirabilia. She has been in my whip pile but not being worked on since last autumn, last Australian autumn. So it's been about 9 months since I picked her up at least. So I'm looking forward to getting back to her because she is my favourite seasonal queen by Mirabilia. So I'm looking forward to pulling her out again. And then I will spin my wheel and see what else I will work on for the 4th week of March. So that's basically it. I hope I'll be back within 2 weeks. We shall see. I hope everyone has a lovely couple of weeks. We're now officially into the Easter season. Today is Ash Wednesday, so it's officially the start of Easter. So something to look forward to. I know that everyone in the Northern Hemisphere has spring to look forward to. We are heading into autumn, and I know not everyone shares my feelings, but I am very excited about autumn starting. So yeah, I hope everyone has a lovely couple of weeks until I see you again. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I hope to see you soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye.